So somebody will come and give you, for instance, here quantity. So we have here quantity. We have quantity. And then we have a price. So we have our price. So for example, first year we sold 200 units. Second year we sold 290 units. Third year we sold, for example, 544 units. All right. And then the price throughout was 30, 30, 30, 30 like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these guys here would want you to come and evaluate, give them, for example, what we call total revenue. Total revenue. I've repeated this severally in your quantitative analysis. How are you guys getting the total revenue? Could you kindly give me the formula that will be able to help me here calculate the total revenue? Total revenue. Total revenue. How do we get total revenue, my friends? Total revenue, they're not chatting today as usual. Price times quantity, you're right. So they're telling me come and take price here times what here quantity. Like the first price is 200 times 30, 200 times 30. So you see in Excel, first of all, to operationalize the cell, to make the cell, in this case here, accept a formula, you must start by saying equals there, where I want my revenue. So when I say equals there, then I'll come and pick, ladies and gentlemen, near the 200 there, right? I say 200 times who, 200 times who, times the 30, and then I'll be able to say enter. What am I getting here? I'm getting 6,000. Now, once I get 6,000, now I should be able to use the power of what here, Excel, to evaluate the others without sweating at all. So I need to copy the formula downwards, and that is the strength of Excel, really. So in this case here, there are two ways I could come here and put, there are two pluses. We have this plus that is white in color, bigger, and then we've got this other black plus, showing that it has got things inside. It's an autofill. Autofill. So this autofill, I can come and put this at the very corner here, and then I drag this down. I drag this down like that. Like that, right? Of course, that's what the procedure I would want to teach you people. I'll come and say, yeah, Control Z to undo. To undo, you say Control Z, To undo, you say Control Z. The one that I would want you to learn tonight is the one where you come and put this plus here. You put the plus there, and then you double click, right? Control Z. What have I done? I'll come and put this plus, the bold plus. In this case, the black plus, the one of autofill. Once it's right at the corner here and it's black, as you can see it there, then you'll come and say what here, you double click. You double click to be able to see the numbers coming down automatically. So is there somebody who is able to do that? Is there somebody who is able to do that? Is there somebody who is able to do that? Is there somebody who is able to do that? Is there somebody who can help us do this? Julie is saying yes, somebody has already done it. So then what I need to do is to stop sharing here, and then I give you a minute. You try doing it. You try doing this yourself. You try doing this yourself. Try sharing your screen with us. Go through some other very important functionality. Now, you realize when we are here, ladies and gentlemen, you realize one thing here, that when we are here, this 30, 30, 30 is common. I'm seeing 30, 30, 30 being repeated. Whenever you have in Excel a number being repeated severally, then you don't have to put it in every other place. Just putting it here as 31 place is sufficient, is good enough. And then, of course, I'll be able to use the repetition functionality in Excel to be able to capture this 30 throughout in all other cells, right? So then how do I go about this? I'll come and say here equals. I'll pick 200 as usual. I want to multiply to get revenue. So Shift 8, so it's times this 30. And then, of course, if you are keen again, you realize Excel is quite a very friendly thing. You can see how it is writing the formula. I don't know, I'm a man, I may not be very good in colors, but you can see the first C5 is in blue. So it's showing you that this is blue, speaking 200. The second cell is in red. You can see it's in red here. All right. So you can't really tell us that you're confusing. No. It'll always mark the colors. So when you come and say enter there, so I have there. Now listen and listen to me very well. What if now I try to drag this thing down? I'm getting 0, 0, 0. Is there somebody who can really try to explain to us, why do you think are we getting 0, 0 here? I can tell you right away. I know the answer. You see, Excel is very powerful. It picked the first operation, 230. And then Excel will always go down one step down. Excel will always go one step down. So it went down one cell down where we have 290 and nothing here to give us 0. Another step down, 544 with 0. It gave us 0. So Excel will always go one row down, one row down. You must be very careful with this. Excel will always go one row down as it is doing the auto-filling. So if you wanted Excel to pick this 30 throughout, listen and listen to me very well. If you wanted Excel to pick this 30 throughout, you needed to have referenced, you needed to have fixed it. How do we fix this? Ladies and gentlemen, listen here. If I go back here, I can see my, like this cell here, which is 30, is supposed to be referenced. It's supposed to be fixed. How do we fix numbers in Excel? To fix numbers in Excel, we normally use the $sign. So I would want to pose this question to you guys there on your typing boards. Are you able to see, ladies and gentlemen, a $sign? Are you able to see a typing? Right. Are you able to see $sign? On my board here, I can see it's on top of number 4. Are you able to see the $sign? Are you able to see the $sign? Right. The $sign. Yes. Top of number 4. Yes. Thank you so much. So then get back here, and ensure that you are able to see this red, the D. This is D5. So before D, put a $, before D, put a $, before D, and put a $, before 5. And put a $, before 5, like that. We are only fixing that cell that is to be used down repetitively. That will be used down repetitively. We only fix that cell. This cell D5 is the only one we shall be fixing here using the $sign. So is there somebody who has been able to put those dollars before D and before 5? Before D and before 5. Is there somebody who has been able to do that? Before D and before 5. Joy, it's only Joy who is saying yes. It's only Joy who is saying yes. Mary Gedaiga, yes. Yeah, I'll come back to that. Nimrod. I'll come back to that. Lucy says yes. Now, so if you have done that, ladies and gentlemen, then please come here. And of course, you have to say enter. When you say enter, you'll be able to get that 6,000. So what I would want you to do is to come and pull this down now. Now you can see now this thing 30 has been fixed and used downwards A very important skill for any accountant. Because as in finance, we shall be getting figures that are fixed, like fixed costs. Figures that don't keep on changing. You don't have to keep on writing them in every cell. We are talking of big data. So if a figure is fixed, I should know how to $, reference it. Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would want still to come back here. I would want us to come back there. And this is exactly what I want us to do. I want us to remove those $. Let's remove those dollars. Let's remove these dollars. Remove this dollar. Remove this other dollar. Let's remove those dollars. Let's remove those dollars. If I remove those dollars, trust you me, if I try to copy this thing down, it can never work. It can never work. All right? So I told you to remove these dollars. It's because there is another way. There is another way. There is another way. There is another way, ladies and gentlemen, of fixing this D5. That I can come in this case here before D. Before D. I put my cursor before D. I can see my cursor dancing there before D. I can see it dancing before D. So when it is dancing there before D, coming up and down, I look for a function called F4, and then I press F4 at once. I look for F4, just press. If I press F4 at once, I can see both dollars have been introduced. Both dollars have been introduced. If you look at F4, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at F4, very important, F4, very important, F4, very important here, very important here, very important here, F4. Have you been able to see your F4? So I'm talking of 200 times, we have this 30, and that 30 I'm saying, I would rather come and press what here, just F4 automatically. And it's able to come with dollars before D and with dollar before 5. And then when I say enter now, I have my 6,000 there. When I come here and double click there, I'll have my entire thing coming. Is there somebody who has been able to try that? Is there somebody who has tried that? I would want to really take my time here because I know now I'm setting pace. I'm setting pace for my Excel. Before I answer some questions there, Nyaboke says yes. Abdi says done. Vanessa Kipsuto says done. Caro done. Great, 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 great. Done. Great. Okay, I'll answer your question. So Irene is asking there, how do I press F4? Irene, first of all, are you able to see that F4, Irene? Are you able to see F4 on your screen? Are you able to see F4? The F functions are up there, the first row. If you're able to see it, then there's no problem. So let me come back here. So what I'll do, I'll come back here and I'll even start afresh. I'll come and delete everything there. I would want to start afresh. So I'll come and say equals. I pick 200. I say times. Slowly. I say 30. And because I would want to lock D5, I'll come and say immediately here, F4. So when I say F4 like that, I can see this being locked and 5 is being locked like that. We normally use the dollar sign to lock our cells. So when I say here enter, ladies and gentlemen, what am I getting? 6,000 there. And now this 30 has been locked, and because it has been locked, now it shall be used in the other cells, 30, 30, 30, 30, like that. 30, 30, like that. Now, once it has been locked like that, ladies and gentlemen, so I'll come and do what here? I shall come and, of course, copy this down. Now, listen, I would want to give you some homework. And now this is in your business data analytics paper. In your business data analytics paper, you will see these guys here giving you quantity, right? So we shall be having here quantity. I can see there is a chart which has come there. You shall be having here price. Now, first of all, let me just do variable cost per unit. Variable cost. All right. Variable cost. All right. So quantity, I have here 10 units. Here I have 12 units. Here I have 15 units. So variable cost per unit happens to be 2 bob. It's per unit. And then now we have the fixed cost. fixed cost is a 100 or just 50 shillings, 50 shillings, 50 shillings. So then here, they want you to do something very simple. They want you to come and they create a column where you capture total cost. Where you capture total cost like that. I can see various charts here. Please feel free to ask as many questions as possible. Yes, if your F4 is giving you a different thing, press Fn for function, and then you press F4. Try function plus F4. Highlighting the keyboard. Oh, okay. Then you are the type that you should be doing what here. Somebody, you'd press function with F4. Try that, and then we see whether you'll be able to get it right. Try that. Try that. Please give us feedback. It's okay now. So Joy, you have been of help to so many people. Got it right with the function, yes. With function, yes. Thank you so much. Thanks for asking that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, how do we normally get total cost from your management accounting, basic management accounting? How do we get total cost? To get total cost, if you can remember, total cost, ladies and gentlemen, total cost normally, we take variable cost per unit times quantity plus who, if you remember, plus fixed cost. This is how we normally get total cost. We take total variable cost plus the firm's fixed cost. How do we get total variable cost? We'll take variable cost per unit times number of units. Remember, the variable cost that is here is variable cost per unit. So we want to see whether there is any single student who will be able to use this functionality of fixing cells that are supposed to be fixed permanently. Cells which are supposed to be fixed permanently. Please allow me to do it fast. So I'll come and operationalize the cell by saying equals there, right? So I'm following this. So I'll pick, in this case here, I can start even quantity times V, so it doesn't matter. So quantity doesn't matter times the V times the variable cost. But I want this variable cost to be what here, to be fully referenced. So I'll come and press F4. If I want, I can also do it manually, right? Plus fixed cost. So my fixed cost is 50, and I know that this fixed cost, as the name suggests, is also going to be fixed throughout. Because it shall be fixed throughout, what I need to do is to fully fix it by pressing F4 like that. I'm through with my question. So I'll come and say enter there. When I say enter there, then I'm at home. Now I can come and simply pull this down. When I can come and double click here. So double click there, I'm able to get my answers automatically. Correct answers automatically. Assuming, ladies and gentlemen, that I did not, assuming in this formula that this dollar is not there, this dollar is not there, this dollar is not there, assuming that dollar is not there, and then I come and say enter, I'll get the first one correct, but the subsequent ones cannot be correct. There is power in fixing, especially for those students that we shall even go ahead to these other programs like the Python programming. This fixing is what disturbs very many business analysts. This fixing, the fixing. Yeah, I'll be able, in this case, to repeat. I'll be able to repeat, but before I repeat, is it possible to get one student who has understood this thing? Please come, when you are sharing your screen, I would want you to be having some numbers. The only column I don't want you to be having is the total cost. The only column I don't want you to be having is, but the other number should be there. We should not come here to type the numbers because of time. I'm still not getting the F4 aspect. F4, have you tried using a function? the function, which is near your control. Must see, have you tried using function and then you press F4 and still not getting? I don't know. I don't know. There must be a problem there. So done. Done, you're not done my homework, you're not treating the figures. I wanted you to come with figures so that you don't waste time really typing these things here. But you can now move very fast. Yes, I'll repeat CPA Getonga. I will repeat. Mercy is saying it's okay now. I'm so happy. That's good feedback. Variable cost per unit. This is one of those things that CASNEB wants you to appreciate in this new paper. For those of you who are doing this Excel for business data analytics, cost accounting is key. Great. I'm going to start with, times, and then you press F4. You never wanted to press F4 immediately. Nope, nope. You should not have said plus first. Yeah, just continue. Nope. Even that F4 you can still. Just take your time. Faith, it's your turn. Faith, it's your turn. And please, Faith, try to unmute yourself so you can talk to us. Okay, Abdi, I've already seen your message. Faith, I would want to hear you speaking. Mm-hmm. Now, I've seen the mistake. Faith, let's go back. Just delete that A4. Let's start again. Let's start again, Faith. Let's start again. Let's start again. Let's start again. So take that 10. Times 2. Don't go back. Say F4 there straight away. Don't go back. Don't go back. Say F4. Nope. It's like you're going back or something. Go to that. Say F4 now. Yes. And then I'll plus the fixed cost. Plus the fixed cost, which is 50. And then F4. Don't go back. You forgot to say F4. I don't know. Go back there. You don't have to start again, but no problem. Times the 2 F4 plus the 50 F4. Remember that 50 is also a fixed element. It's going to be yes. And then now you say enter. And then you go back to the 70. Right? And then now you fill down. You fill down. Thank you so much. I can see James Kia's yes. James Kia. Other students can also share. Other students can also share. Please try sharing. I can see Caroline. I can see Caroline here. what I want to do is to put them side by side. Oh, why is it not coming, this option side by side? Ngetunyi, I'm recording for you. Yes. So James Kia, move very fast. I was trying to have this option where my students here share side by side, but I'm unable. I would want to have like two people sharing at the same time. So I can see what this gentleman called James is doing. He has taken and please, James, you don't rub like that. When you want to undo a function, you say Control Z, equals, so mention equals there. So you pick the quantity which is 100 times that quantity which has to be fixed. F4, thank you very much, plus the fixed cost. It has to be F4 as well. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please, you are allowing me. I've seen a student here asking a very great question. I've seen a student in this case here asking a question like, it seems the students who are very good in Excel here. A student is asking me a question here. When I'm here, why can't I just, for example, just dollar reference the 6 alone? Where can't I dollar reference, for example, like now here, look at this. So if I come and, for example, just dollar reference, don't put a 4 there. It's just 1. I want to dollar reference 6, so I'll say shift 4. And then here I dollar reference 6 again. I come to this one. I come to this one. I come to this one. And a dollar reference it with the dollar there. Great. Now listen here. If I do that, I'll still be correct. I will be correct. I will be correct throughout. If I try copying this down, I will still be correct. Those students have mastered one thing that is quite ahead of us, that you don't have to do what we call full referencing. That you can see these two. I don't have a problem with even these two moving across to the other columns. What I don't want to happen is to see these 2 and these 50 being, or rather moving, varying downwards. I don't want these 2 and 50 to be different figures in row 7, to be different figures in row 8. Then what I need to do is to come and fix them up there straight away on row 6 alone. I'll come back to this, but for now, what I want us to appreciate, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that we have what we call dollar referencing. If you allow Mwalimu, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be able to move on to something very important. Now, what is this thing that I would want us to study? Allow me to mute all of you. Allow me to mute all of you again. Great. Great. Now, so today I would want us, ladies and gentlemen, again to do our multiplication table. Is our third exercise, multiplication table. So here I am, I want to develop a multiplication table. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then of course we have 9. I'll teach you some other shortcuts later. So come here, do your table there again, your columns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Without knowing these things, you'll be having a lot of problems ahead. A lot of problems ahead. I'll teach you shortcuts of how to come up with this series. Don't worry about that. Now, the thing that I would want us to do is to appreciate how to dollar reference. Now, assuming, ladies and gentlemen, that I've got this kind of a table, multiplication table, and then somebody tells me to come straight away and put the multiples, like 1 times 1, 3 times 2, 4 times whatever. What do I need to do? I'll come, ladies and gentlemen, to any cell, right? Either this or even this, doesn't matter, right? Let me work with this. Let me work with this. So I'll come and say, for example, here equals, right? Right? I'll come and say equals, pick this 9. This 9 times this 9 here. And then straight away, I'll say enter. When I say enter, what am I getting? 81. But you see now, for me to be able to use now this full power of Excel and copy this formula inside here, I need to go back there to 81. And ladies and gentlemen, in my formula here, there are things I would need to fix. Who can tell me in this case here what is supposed to be fixed? Somebody talk to me tonight. Somebody talk to me tonight. Who can tell me in these formulas here, what do I need to fix? What do I need to fix? I can tell you for sure what I need to fix. Like in this cell, I've got what we call F. I've got F16. I have got F16, this cell here, F16. You can see this is 16. And then now we have our F. So for us to be able to get, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, this particular value, we will take 07, this 07, this cell here, 07, you multiply it with F what here, F16 like that, right? So I would want to pause again. Here, like now, where my cursor is dancing, I can see it's F16, red in color, this cell here, red in color, F16. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, F16, what do I need really here to between F and 16? Which is it, F or is it 16 that I should be able to fix? Which one should I fix? Please listen. I would want to move slowly here. Between F and 16, I can see row 16 is not a title row. Row 16 is nothing to me. It's not a title row, this row 16. But when you come to F, this F is a title column. Title Y, all these figures that you're seeing inside here, I will be using them inside here. I'll be making reference to them. So F is a title column. The other title column that, or other title we have is this row 6. Row 6 is what here? Is it row 6 or 7? Row number 7. Row number 7, ladies and gentlemen, is that. So we have got two titles here. We've got two titles here. So we have F. So I'll come to F here, F alone. I'll come before F alone and put $. So shift $. And then you've told me that 7 again, this 7 is a title row. So where I'm seeing 7, I'll come and put $. Before 7. I'll put $. Before. Here I can't now use F4. I use F4 and I want to block like many of them. So you have to go one at a time. So I'll put just $1 there, and then I'll be able to say enter. So I have my 81. I have my 81. Now, when you have this 81, now you can copy and paste. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen and listen to me very well. I would want to repeat this. I'm seeing your charts there. Before I answer your questions, please allow me to pick another cell and then test whether you guys are following. Let me test whether you guys are following. Come here, inside here. I would want to get, okay, so I'll come and say equals. So it is 5 times what here? 5. It can be any number really. 5 times 5, right? So I'll come and pick this 5 here this time around. And then I say times this 5 here. And then I say enter like that live, right? Then I'll come and get back here. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I would want to see whether the students who are able to tell me which ones should I put $ marks on. When I put here, when I show my formula, you guys should be able to tell me, Mwalimu, hey, no, go there and put $1 before this number or before this letter. Can somebody help me out here? Somebody who is trying to follow here. Could you kindly help me out here? Somebody who's trying to follow here. Right? F and 7. Still F and 7. F and 7. I'm being reminded. So I'm being reminded here, ladies and gentlemen, that still, if you look at this, whichever 7 will always be there in whichever cell you go here. 7 is a title row. So 7 has to be fully, not fully, but $, referenced. So put $1 there. And also F, come here, put $1 there, like that. And then of course you put enter there. Even if, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying, like now, if you see here, let me come back to the beginning, because you normally start from the beginning. If I come back here and say equals, I would want to multiply 1 and 1, 1 and 1. Look at what I'll do. I'll say equals here. After I say equals there, I'll come and pick this one, and then I'll say times here. I'll come and say times here, this one, this one. Now, if you are keen enough, kindly, without in this case here really making you guys to be tired, which ones in this case here should they are those ones which are part of the equation, whichever cell you go to, there'll always be the ones that are permanent features. Permanent features, permanent features. So again, I can see my chart. So those charts are not good enough. They are not many enough. They're telling me, Mwalimu, F is a foundational column. 7 is a foundational row because it will be found in every. So go and put dollars there. Now, assuming, for example, my good students, assuming I don't put dollars there, and then I try to copy this down, see what will happen. If I try copying this down, I'll get very absurd answers. Very absurd answers. You can't even convince your class 3 kid that you're doing the right multiplication. The class 3 kid will tell you, no, these are not correct multiplications. It is the dollar that will cure this. So when I come back here, I can see 7 is a title row. So dollar there. I can see F is a title column, dollar there. And then I'll be able to say what here, enter. Sorry, I pressed 4 there instead of. Okay. Great. So shift 4 to put the dollar alone like that. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, once I have these dollars placed in very well, now I'll be able to come and pull this slowly. And I'll be able to get the right multiples. Like the last one here should be 9 times 1, which is 9. And the moment now I'm through with that, I'll be able to come and pull this across, and I'll be able to get the entire now multiplication table having done very well, having been done very well. So ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me see the chart here to see the questions. Sorry. They're giving me answers. Please always use the chat box to ask questions. Use the chat box to respond to my questions. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great. Now I would want to allow you guys to share your screens, and then we see whether you shall be able to get the same answers like the ones that I'm getting. Leave this 81 alone. So is there anybody who's trying to share their screen? Is there anybody who's trying to share their screen? BK Aruk, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Great. So go ahead and show us. So now here you are given 2017, 2018, 2019. They've given you price per unit, variable cost per unit, fixed cost like that. And then they want you to do something very simple. They want you to come up with a profits model. Profits model. So it'll allow me to come back here, ladies and gentlemen, and then I'll leave you to do this thing. Now, when I look at this formula of mine, I can see this price per unit 30. This is cell H. If I put my cursor, I'll be able to see. It is cell H 12. You will always see cell H12 is constant. This cell H13 is constant. Cell H 100, cell H 14 is constant. So when I come back to my cell here, ladies and gentlemen, I can see the figures that are constant. It is this price. So when I come to this price there, I should be able to press, like in this case, I don't want to limit. This is a fixed figure. It's a fixed figure. Even if I'll be taking this cell to other rows, to other columns, I would want this 30 and 25 to remain ever. So I would rather fully lock it. To fully lock a cell, you press F4. To fully lock a cell, we normally press F4. F4. We normally press F4. To fully lock. We normally press F4 like that. I'll come here, H13, after H13, because it's variable cost. This variable cost, I would want to fully lock it. So I'll press F4. I'll press F4. The other thing that I can see it's fully locked here is this H whatever. This fixed cost. The fixed cost will keep on being the same. So it's H14. So I'll come after H14 here, and then I'll be able to press what there, F4. F4 like that. So now I'm good to go. When I come here, now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be able to come and do what here? I'll be able to come and drag this down. And when I drag it down like this, now come, for example, 2019, you can see it's not correct. It's because I don't have any quantity there. So for example, if it's 2020, now I have a model. With a model, if it's, for example, it has arrived 2020 is here with us, and then we have sold, for example, how many units? We've sold, for example, 15 units like that. When I say enter, now I'll be getting my answers automatically. I'll be getting my answers automatically. Just try, we see. And then, of course, as we do this, ladies and gentlemen, there are things I would expect my students here to be learning every other day from me. If, for example, you realize like you don't want this cell 15, the entire row 15, the entire row 15. I've always seen students coming here, they highlight, they write, do whatever. No. The only thing you need to do is to come and highlight it like that, and then you say control, you subtract it. You say control minus, it deducts. When you want to do away with some cells, well, not cells, but rows or columns. In this case, you don't want, right? Simply control, subtract. You are able to do away with it, to eliminate. If, for example, you want to do away with J, or rather KL, you'll simply come here and press K. You see, like now K here, what has happened to K is highlighted. So I'll say control. I pick whatever number I want, whatever. Perhaps I want to eliminate them totally. I don't need them. So once I do that, I'll come and say control minus, and they will go. They'll go. I wish I had some numbers here in between. They will disappear like nothing. They will disappear like nothing. They'll disappear like nothing. So assuming I had numbers here, like for example, and then here you don't want, for example, from here. You don't want, for example, from there all the way to there. Anyway, I'm waiting for you guys to do what you have to do, your model. I'm waiting for you guys to do your model. I'll be able to train you these things slowly. How do you add columns? How do you add rows professionally? How do you subtract rows professionally? Right? So I want to see whether there's any student who has been able to build up this model. Repeat from 2017. Repeat lock. Okay, I'll repeat that. Can you repeat? Okay, I've not even seen this. Okay, so are we okay? First of all, before I repeat, could there be any student who has been able to get this profit model correctly? Anybody by a mention of yes? Frida says yes. Thank you so much. Irene, yes. Those are 2, 3. Okay, yes. Those are 3 students. 4. Great. I'm not a bad teacher. Around 1, at least I have about 4. 5. Yes. Yes. Great. Now let me repeat again. Let me repeat again. Now, the most important thing is for you to appreciate. The most important thing here is for you to appreciate. The most important thing is for you to appreciate the formula of getting total profit of the company. It is price minus variable cost to get what we call CM, contribution margin, times number of units minus fixed costs. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here I am. I can see where the price is. The price here is 30. So I'll come and first of all say equals. So I pick my price. I would want this price because it's a constant figure that will be used throughout. I would want it to be what here, somebody, to be dollar referenced fully. I'm locking it fully. So in my laptop, I'll come and say F4, right? In some laptops, you must say function, FN, and then you press F4. is some laptops. So I'll come and say equals. I would want this to be what here? I would want this to be, I would want the variable cost to be subtracted, right? So I have my variable cost, and I would want this variable cost also to be fully referenced, F4, like that. And I would want these to be in brackets. I'm simply following the formula. I would want them to be in brackets. I would want them to be in brackets like that. All right. From there, we continue with our journey. We say times this quantity. The quantity of 2017 is quantity will keep on varying. So quantity, you can't lock the quantity because quantity will keep on varying. This is a variable thing to keep on changing. So this one I cannot really do what here. I can't lock it up. But when I say minus fixed cost is 100 is going to be constant throughout. So this has to be locked, F4. And then I'll be able to say enter like that. And then I'll come here live and do what here, somebody, you walk around with this. You walk around with this like that. And these are very serious things because like now in our next class, I'll introduce depreciation, I'll introduce discounting. You guys will love, this will be your best Excel class. So long as you're able to exercise every day. Every day, you must exercise every day. You must come here to ask as many questions as possible. Don't be intimidated by anybody. Don't be intimidated by anybody. Otherwise, unless there is a question, I would want us to stop there.